Okay, so now we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. We're going to talk in this section about what happens in conception. You really need to probably get a visual of this, and we're going to watch videos in class, but I want you to write this in your own words, draw pictures, whatever you need to do to try to get an idea of what happens in conception. And the reason it's important that you know these steps is because if something goes wrong at one of those steps, you have to understand what's happening. So at birth, a genetically female or physically female infant, their ovaries contain all the oocytes that will ever be produced. Okay, meiosis, cell division, for those ova begins in fetal life, but then it's suspended until puberty. So then at puberty, that begins again. So when ovulation begins, that cell division to form oocytes begins. But meiosis is not complete unless fertilization occurs. So as those cells are dividing, eventually that final division, we get one ovum and three polar bodies. Okay. Those three polar bodies degenerate. Prior to fertilization, that ovum has 23 chromosomes. It has 22 autosomes and one X chromosome. So the egg always has one X chromosome out of the 23. At puberty, the male testes begin spermatogenesis, making sperm. The sperms are produced throughout the lifespan. So remember, the oocytes are all there at birth, with a complete division, they complete division up to the combination part after puberty. At puberty, male testes begin to produce sperm. Each cell division or meiosis eventually produces 4 sperm, 2 with X chromosomes and 2 with Y chromosomes. So there's the numbers of sperm are a lot higher. Remember, the ova always have X chromosomes. For the sperm, half of them are going to have X, half of them are going to have Y chromosomes. Prior to fertilization, spermatocytes have 23 chromosomes, have 22 autosomes, and one either X or Y. So it is the sperm that determines the genetic sex of the infant. At ovulation, a mature ovum is released. Estrogen, remember the estrogen levels are high at that point. Told you had to know that part too. Estrogen increases the motility of the fallopian tubes. So it makes the fallopian tubes have more peristalsis, and the little fimbriae sweep. They sweep the ovum into the fallopian tube, and the peristalsis propels the ovum down the fallopian tube. There are 2 protective layers around the ovum. There's the zona pellucida and the corona radiata. Okay, those are important because when we talk about how fertilization occurs. The ova may be fertilized for about 24 hours after ovulation. Now, semen has mature sperm and a fluid that provides mobility and energy for the sperm. So 1 teaspoon of semen has 200 to 500 million sperm. They're pretty tiny. They swim by moving the flagellum, you know that. They may actually reach the site of fertilization within 5 minutes, but the average transit time is 4 to 6 hours. And sperm can remain viable in the reproductive tract for anywhere from 2 to 5 days. And you'll see that the notes say 2 to 3. That's based on this part of this chapter. But when we were talking about fertility, it was 3 to 5. There's kind of a range, but we're looking at 2 to 5 days being kind of the outside of that. So when the sperm is released into the female reproductive tract, there are enzymes that help remove the protective coating from the heads of those sperm. Okay, that allows enzymes to escape from the head of the sperm. So when the sperm get to the ovum, they can begin to penetrate the protective layers. Remember the layers, the zona pellucida and the corona radiata. So once one sperm penetrates that ovum, the membrane encloses the sperm and blocks out any other sperm. Okay. Then meiosis of the ovum is complete. Those chromosomes in the sperm, the chromosomes in the ovum join, and now we have a single cell with 46 chromosomes. So the nuclei of those combined, so 46 chromosomes. Okay, we're going to come back in the next section and we're going to talk about implantation and fetal development.